Richmond by 9 points as we start the second quarter of the play in the Richmond-North Melbourne match at the MCG. Probably the major fixture of the round of this date. The umpire is Don Blue. Goal kickers for the Richmond team, 2 to Royce Hart and 1 to Bill Barrett. And for North Melbourne, goals to Farron and Wood.
Umpire Blue starts the second quarter. A very good bounce. Chance for Bob Pascoe. Patterson tried to kick it off the ground, picked up by Teasdale. Gets up towards the half-forward line. It'll have to bounce right there for Gary Farrant, who gives it across towards Laurie Dwyer. Nearly knocked him over then. There's a kick by Dwyer up towards the forward pocket. Roger Dean's waiting for it very patiently and says thank you. And he's just on that goal kick-off line. Then he changes his mind, kicks along the stand wing to a lead from Dick Clay. Good play by Clay to make that loose man. He got away from Taylor. He circles round Taylor, gets a kick, a good one, up towards the half-forward flank. It's all Richmond, and there's Big Paddy again. Good player. One of the personalities of the game. This is his 6th kick, and he's taken 4 marks.
Big Paddy, centre wing, kicking over the half-forward line with a punt kick. Hasn't used those before. They've all been drop kicks. It's a strong one in towards the goal square. Is that a mark to Royce Hart in front? They're appealing for it. To mark all right. Royce Hart. 20 degrees to the line. 20 yards from goal. A chance for his 3rd of Richmond's 5.
Bad miss by the youngster, who has now kicked 2 goals too. And just a matter of interest, Hart so far has had 4 kicks only and has kicked 2 goals too. Johnny Dugdale will kick it out along the member stand side of the ground. A floating drop kick and a good mark taken by Big Bob Pascoe on the half-back flank for North Melbourne. Richmond a 3-6, leading North Melbourne 2 goals 2 as Pascoe drives it out to the centre wing position. There's Big Patterson, there's a big chance. He's got it 2 on the centre wing. Teasdale hung on to him. Patterson sees the lead coming across there from the half-forward line, and the person is Swift. Might have been blinded by the sun, picked up there by Bowden, gives it across towards Bartlett. Bartlett steadies, shoots for the big open sticks, but I think it's oh, gee, that must have been close. The wind must have just dragged it in, but it's 1 point only. Richmond 3 goals 7.
Brendan Edwards on Channel 9.
I think that handball that we saw there from the Richmond players is one of the reasons why Richmond look to be opening up the game and why they're scoring a little bit better at this stage than North Melbourne.
Beautiful kick by Dugdale. This is a really good kick. And Pascoe! Oh, he paid no mark this time. And it's picked up by Dick Clay. Dick Clay drives it back towards the forward pocket. Dugdale and Hart. The ball is knocked away, but Hart is very quick to recover. And North Melbourne players, Allison and also Terry Benton, comes up towards the centre of the ground, and Dick Clay. Gee, this fellow's an improved footballer. Handballs it across to Patterson, and a shocking kick, but look where it's going. Straight into the hands of Billy Brown.
Billy Brown has won himself back a position in the Richmond team, formerly winger and rover. Here's his kick going for the sticks now. It's a pretty strong kick from that position. Difficult angle, but he can't find the main 7-yard area, and it's 1 point only. So Richmond add to their growing number of behinds.
3-8. Golden opportunities missed by the Richmond side. It's another really good kick by Dugdale. And this time from high at the back of Paddy Ganane. Gee, really playing well. And this is Paddy Ganane's 7th kick, and he's taken 5 wonderful marks. There's his drop kick out toward the centre half-forward position. Northey is there. And in front was Evans. Evans has the ball now. Now he's lost it. It's out towards Royce Hart. See a beautiful turn of Hart. He handballs it across to Byrne, to Brown, but Brown, in trying to get the ball away from Allison, grabbed him across the shoulder. So it's a free kick to Tom Allison in the back pocket for North Melbourne. The recovery power of this youngster, Royce Hart, is really good. He'll be a good footballer with another year under his belt.
Who'll mark it this time? Patterson from behind. A beauty. The marks being dragged down by Hart, Patterson and Ganane have been really terrific. Here's a kick to within about 20 yards of the goal. There's another one to Hart. He just stood there and Dugdale lunged across to try and knock the ball away, but it was a fruitless attempt. And Royce Hart, who has kicked 2 goals 2 already, has a chance to make it 3 goals 2 with this shot, and he would therefore have 3 goals of Richmond's 4. They are 3 goals 8 at the moment. Has he got his right kicking boot on this time? I think he's missed it again. He's got 2 goals 3, and nobody's more upset than Royce Hart. Last time he kicked the ground and thumped his thigh. This time he's been bereft of any sign of emotion.
The free kicks are 15-7 in favour of North Melbourne, but the marks are 23-13, just showing the big marking power of this Richmond side, of which Paddy Ganane has taken 5, and of course Patterson 3 and Billy Barrett 3.
Speaking of good marks, here's one of the best in John Dugdale, playing as full-back for North these days, kicking off beautifully. The ball played funny tricks in the air, and that's why they couldn't get near it to mark it. Short goal! Dugdale who clobbered him, and Hart's head happened to be in the way. He was trying to spoil the mark, and Hart looks not too good as a result. The umpire was right on the scene and took no action. One of the Richmond players didn't think it was all fair and above board, but Dugdale, I think, certainly had the ball as his objective.
Oh, I have no doubt about that, Tony. John Dugdale has been an ornament to the game, and he wouldn't do anything untoward in this game of football. And whatever has happened out there has been because Dugdale has tried to make the ball his objective, and quite rightly so. He's okay. He's on his feet. He's groggy. Look at this.
He's okay, did you say?
Well, he's on his feet. Could be on a stretcher.
Well, if you ask me, Royce Hart doesn't know where he is or which end to kick it. He's still very, very wonky on his feet. He hangs his head, he's still very sore as the ball is right near the goal square, and the umpire comes in to take part in the next, and Hart has collapsed.
We're 22 minutes into the third quarter at the MCG, and a great mark taken by Big Goodingham has given North Melbourne a chance. A Richmond player down on the ground is Bill Barrett, who was brought down after the ball had gone some 30 or 40 yards. In the meantime, Goodingham is a shocking kick, will probably go across the line. We are 23 minutes into the third quarter, and Richmond are trailing by 14 points.
Bill Barrett, star of the game in the first quarter. Magnificent play. He seems to be having trouble with his right thigh and is receiving urgent attention from 2 trainers. Goodingham in the ruck for the North Melbourne team, which has really carried the fight right up to the Richmond side, second on the ladder. We see Barrett back on his feet now, and it's going to be a game where it's the last man standing. Richmond aggressive in defence, as indeed the North Melbourne team is. Darryl O'Brien, a hand pass there to Benton, who was bumped very solidly by Barrett. They've traded some terrific hip and shoulders today. The ball is on the forward line for the North Melbourne team to get right through his feet, went right through Pascoe's feet. Here's his kick going up to the forward flank. Oh, good mark taken, and he'll play on. That's a good mark to Taylor. Taylor short passing on the forward line. Kick is smothered, going close to the line, and now it's out.
24 minutes into this third quarter, and it's a 14-point advantage to North Melbourne, as we see Patterson and McGrath. Neither could win the knockout. Trying to pick the ball up is Tommy Ellison, and umpire Blue says that I will ball it up. It's on the half-forward flank for North Melbourne. The marks are 42-41 in favour of Richmond. Pascoe and McGrath, no cooperation there, and in the meantime Strang has stick Clay. It's taken away by Evans. Evans kicks up towards the forward pocket. A chance for Farron. Farron has marked the ball. Freddie Swift went underneath the ball, and Farron stayed back and took it off the second bite.
Pretty good kick, this young fella. He's got 4 already. This would be the most difficult angle that he has had to try and negotiate so far. Let's see what he makes of it.
It's a good kick by Farron, right up into the goal square. Attempt to mark by Mike Greer, not allowed. It should be rush through for a point. It is. So that makes them 66-51. They lead by 15 points. Farron, incidentally, has taken 5 marks. He's had 9 kicks, and he's kicked 4 goals. The best kick getters in the game so far are 12 to Bartlett and 10 to Clay and 10 to Burke for Richmond.
Pretty swift played on, tests the ball down, kicks it into the centre of the ground. Northey sees it go right past him like a shot. O'Brien grabbed, didn't make much chance to get, or have much chance to get rid of it. Benton's kick is smothered, and Barrett heading for home again. Here, can he shake them off? No, he's dumped and gives a hand pass into the full forward area to Neville Crowe. Crowe too slow, and Teasdale takes the ball from him. And the left foot pass on the run from the big fella is highly accurate and finds Cara Nicholas. Cara Nicholas in trouble now through trying to play on. Here's Benton. Oh, just got out of that one. Can he get out of this? Yes, he gets past Patterson next. His kick is into attack. Good play by Benton. It falls for McCarthy, and McCarthy takes the mark.
McCarthy's had a ding-dong duel with Perry. Plays on quickly, gives it to Laurie Dwyer. Dwyer's kick is not straight enough and will be brushed out of bounds. So it's 25 minutes gone in this third quarter, and Richmond are trailing by 15 points. A ding-donger. 9 kicks to Perry, 7 to McCarthy. A throw-in. And we see Big Goodingham. The ball is knocked away by Patterson. Very close to the line. The ball's picked up by Farrant. Short passes it across towards Ibrahim. The ball is knocked away from him. A chance for Jeff Strang for Richmond. Drives it down towards the centre of the ground, where we see a chance now for Daryl O'Brien, who's playing very well. He's put it over Northey. He drives it across to the half-forward line. Leading in a race for the ball is Tommy Allenson. Look at Bartlett go after him now. Allenson's having trouble picking the ball up. Now it's all Richmond. Bartlett's tenacity has won him the ball. Good play by young Bartlett. Gets it up towards the centre wing, and the ball should go across the ground, across the line. Bartlett's had 13 kicks. Barry Pascoe, incidentally, has had 16, Teasdale 18, and Dwyer 19 for North Melbourne.
The ruck battle is between McGrath and Patterson. Nobody really won it, but winning the ball is Richmond. They go forward. It's onto their half-forward line. The hand passes to Roger Dean. Dean Sloan getting rid of the ball. He's penalised. And he can't find much time to argue about that one.
That'll teach him to argue with an umpire. An ordinary player might have been let off with that, you know. And there's the kick up towards the centre half-forward position, and Mike Perry beautifully judged that ball. Handballs it across towards, I think it was Bowden, gets it up towards the centre half-forward position. The ball is there with Daryl O'Brien. The ball is knocked away by Benton, picked up there by Cara Nicholas, goes out to Teasdale. Teasdale gets it up towards the forward line, looking for Farrant. Farrant couldn't hold it, but chipping in to help him there was Wood. Gives it back to Farrant, and Farrant has had a shot across the goals. 5 goals to Farrant.
Well, the way North Melbourne are playing now, I think that I'd put Clelo's money on them at least, and the way the defenders for North Melbourne are playing, Richmond are not able to get goals, and if this continues, it'll be a North Melbourne victory.
10 minutes ago you said that Richmond would get up.
Well, I've changed my mind, Clelo. 10 minutes has made a lot of difference.
15 points again in North Melbourne's favour. More.
Here we go once more. Pascoe high in the air. He's dominating the rucks now. He takes it, drives it up towards the full forward position over the head of Farrant. It bounces away from Green, but it will beat them all across the line. And we are 27 minutes into this third quarter, and the scoreboard says that Richmond are 6-15-51, trailing North Melbourne, who are 11-6 by 21 points. Another throw in. Crowe, Goodingham. Crowe wins it. Gets it out towards Bartlett, and Bartlett kicks it across the line, and the umpire says, we'll throw it in.
21 points the difference. North Melbourne still in front, and we're in the time-on period in the third quarter. Richmond led by 9 points at the first change, North Melbourne by 5 at half-time. North Melbourne have carried on with it since then. Green's kick outs the ball for the third time in a row in the pocket. Well,
the players thought it was across the line, but it wasn't.
Well, it certainly wasn't a 10 yards for a mark. It's about 3.5.
There's the kick up towards the half-back flank. All Richmond, and Burke is there to take the ball. Richmond are too anxious to try and play on, and they get themselves into trouble. See this? He's running around, doesn't know where to kick it. So he kicks it high in the air to the centre wing, looking for Ganane. Ganane has the ball knocked away, but the umpire said he held it long enough. He picked the ball up, waiting to get it to the lead, which will come from Orchard, obviously. There's his kick down towards Orchard. Dugdale lurking at the back, but couldn't quite hold the ball. Now we see Orchard in front, and Roger Dean is there. A free kick to the Richmond player, Roger Dean.
Yeah, manhandled by Dugdale. Dean had his beady eye on the ball all the way, was making the ball his objective. The ball in towards the goal square. That's clever play, turning out of trouble. Excellent play by one of the North Melbourne defenders. The ball is to the half-back flank, and now it's across the line.
A clever play was by Tommy Allenson, who's played very well in the back pocket for North Melbourne. There we see Crow, trying to knock the ball out towards Bowden, picked up by Kara Nicholas, handballs it back to Dwyer. Dwyer gets it up towards the half-forward line. Oh, Barrett came from the pack, nobody could mark it, and the ball goes across the line. It's very close to three-quarter time. 29 minutes have gone, and it's a lead of 21 points to North Melbourne.
Uncontested knockdown. Richmond win it handsomely. Double-hander from Neville Crowe straight to Burke. Burke's kick onto the half-forward line. North Melbourne again playing strongly in defence. Will clear this ball. Darryl O'Brien gets the ball out of play, and we'll await the next throw-in. It's in the shadows of the members' stand. Teasdale on the ball now against Crowe. Nothing much happened there. In comes Bowden for the Richmond team. A nice sidestep. It was the class of Fred Astaire. A hand pass over here to Patterson. Patterson bowled over. His free kick. Patterson is at 45 degrees to the goals at the old scoreboard end, and now the new stand end, and is only about 35 yards out.
Richmond desperately need this goal. They trail by 21 points, and it's very close to three-quarter time. We've played for 30 minutes. If he gets this, it'll only be 15 points the difference, but he won't get it. It'll only be 1 point, so Richmond now trail by 20 points. Bad
luck for number 25. He's had 2 of those opportunities. Should have both been goals. He's missed them both.
North Melbourne playing well all over the ground. Their back line playing tenaciously. The centre line and their forwards are capitalising opportunities, and there's very little between the rucks at this stage, so it looks as though North could go on with it.
Dugdale kicks it wide to the wing. There's a chance for Richmond's Neville Crowe. He's been paid the mark, held it long enough. He'll have to hurry and get it down. He's taking too long. There's his kick. It's a high one. Getting out to where we see Rogers. And there's the three-quarter time siren. An interesting decision. The mark has been allowed because the siren went just that fraction of a second after the mark. It's Paddy Ganane.
Something to bring the best out in Big Paddy. You'll either kick it along the ground or kick a 60-yard beauty. They really need goals. Can Paddy kick a goal?
Oh,
giant punt kick. Beauty.
Well, that's the way to finish a quarter. A magnificent 65-yarder by Paddy Ganane. So at three-quarter time, North Melbourne are 11 goals 6 and Richmond are 7-16, a difference of 14 points.
The final quarter about to start at the Mecca for cricket and football in this city, the MCG. It's umpire Don Blue. North Melbourne look at this stage like really good things to lower the Tigers' colours. The Tigers are in second position in the fight for the premiership and North Melbourne 8th. North Melbourne look like being giant killers for 2 weeks in a row. Big Bob Pascoe punched the ball onto the forward line as far as an ordinary man could kick it. Will North Melbourne carry on where they've left off? They're 14 points ahead at this stage. Split decision here, and the umpire must bounce it.
Skinner's had the ball held to him by Wood. It's on the half-forward line for North Melbourne. The bounce, going for it, knocking it some yards, is Mike Patterson. And here we see going for it Ray Taylor. But Burke is on his hammer. The ball's across the line on the half-forward flank for North Melbourne. Parent has kicked 5 goals for North Melbourne out of the 11 that they have scored. 2 goals to Teasdale, 1 each to Ibrahim, Goodingham, Pascoe and Wood.
The sun's proving a problem. Patterson on the right and Pascoe on the left. Ballet poses a struck as Ibrahim kicks into the shadows again.
And the goal kickers for Richmond, who have kicked 7 goals 16, 2 to Hart, 1 each to Ganane, Northey, Barrett, Brown and Orchard.
Wood didn't agree with that decision. Bartlett's happy to receive it, even though his kicking leg doesn't seem to be in too good a shape at the moment. Bartlett, first rover for the Richmond team, kicks the ball to the half-back flank in the shadows of the members' stand. Most of the attacking today has been done around this flank. A mark or an infringement there for shepherding when the ball was more than 5 yards away. Goes to Dick Clay, he kicks into the centre where it's a North Melbourne mark, and it's taken by number 17 for them, Barry Pascoe, who's been a consistent player all day. The ball is kicked to centre half forward, kicked rather short. Teasdale was a little late there to get up for the mark. Billy Brown having a wrestle with another small man in Laurie Dwyer. He takes the ball off him and kicks the ball to the newsstand wing. Taylor lost the ball. It was taken by Roger Dean. He kicks the ball almost back over his head, and Stewart is standing there quite comfortably to take the mark on the half-back flank for his side.
50-48 are the marks in favour of Richmond as Peter Stewart takes the ball on the half-back flank. They have a lead of 14 points. There's a lovely kick by Stewart, but it's all Richmond. There's three of them there, and Mike Perry, the red-headed Mike Perry, takes the mark, plays on quickly. Oh, why is he stopping him? Umpire Blue is, I don't know why, but he has made him come back and kick over his mark, so he plays on quickly again, drives it across the centre of the ground, looking for Northey, who has been held at least by O'Brien today. They've had 7 kicks each. O'Brien gives it across towards Kara Nicholas, but the ball's bounced back to Northey. Never give him away. Northey gets it out to Barrett. Barrett steadies, and a magnificent drop kick by Barrett. It's right in towards the goal square, but it's 1 point only.
You can sense that when Barrett gets hold of the ball, the stands lift and wait for something to happen, and he certainly would have brought the stands down had he kicked that goal, and he wasn't that far away from it either.
13 points the difference now in favour of North Melbourne. There's the kick by Doug Dale, and he's found Goodingham. Talking about Barrett, he had 10 kicks in the first quarter, but only 1 in the second quarter and 1 in the third quarter, and Benton has got on top of him since quarter time. A good kick by Peter Stewart. Comes to the position at centre half back, no mark to Perry, and the ball is picked up here by Roger Dean, a left hand pass across to Burke. Burke is in trouble, gets his kick, it goes out towards Bowden. Bowden gets it up towards the half forward line. There's a chance for Paddy Ganane.
Ganane right on three-quarter time. The siren had in fact gone with just as he had taken the mark, kicked a beautiful goal, his first for the day, and that put a lot of heart back into the Tigers, and he'll certainly add immeasurably to that spirit if he can convert this mark for full points.
His 10th kick, and he's taken 8 marks. Paddy Ganane, one of the personalities of the league. The goal umpire hasn't moved. 2 goals for Paddy Ganane.
Earlier in play, Ganane's drop kicks weren't coming off too well. Not that he was close enough to score, but now that he's using punt kicks after being switched to full forward in the second half, is certainly kicking very well.
I think Ganane is probably Richmond's only hope now. If he can kick goals, Richmond could still be in it.
5 minutes into this last quarter, and that goal by Ganane has brought this ground alive. There's over 55,000 people here, and Richmond only trailing by 7 points.
Alan Richardson, a player in the side, but with his right arm in plaster at the moment. There's the messenger, and a very busy one today. He's trying to G the players on. It's gone Richmond's way again. Bill Barrett tried to relay it on, but he was hampered. The ball went towards Northey, but he lost it to number 17 in Barry Pascoe, and it's taken by number 27 Laurie Dwyer, who gives it to Teasdale, who gives it to Dwyer. Dwyer on the rampage on the forward line is run down by Burke, but too late. The kick is to centre half forward, and that should be a North Melbourne mark.
A mark to young Evans, who is some 40 yards out, but straight in front.
A vital scoring opportunity then, 6 minutes into the final quarter for the North Melbourne team, who could get back to a 14-point lead if Evans is able to convert. They led by 14 points at lemon time, then they lost their advantage by a goal, and now they're trying to get it back again. It's a strong kick. It's a goal.
That's the equaliser, so they go back to lead by 13 points. North Melbourne in front, 13 points, 7 minutes into this last quarter.
I think we can contribute that goal. It was due to the good work of Laurie Dwyer. What a brilliant little player this fellow is. He's roving today, and he's really going well.
Dwyer's had 21 kicks for the game, and those comments were from Brendan Edwards for GTV9.
Welcome again to the forces in Vietnam to this telecast through the General Television Corporation. Bowden, Richmond ruck rover with the ball in the centre of the ground, wastes no time, times against the Richmond team, and he kicks to the half-forward line where Roger Dean, always an acrobat, can get inches off the ground to take the good mark. Paddy Ganane right back in the goal square, waiting for his opportunity. Out he comes. Can he fly up for it? Oh, he got 2 hands to it and then was really buffeted hard from behind. He did a surface dive forward. In the meantime, the ball is cleared right to this area, which is in the shadows of the 3-tiered stand, which is known as the New Olympic stand.
If you're wondering what Roger Dean is doing, having a shot for goal, it's because he's been shifted in the back pocket to the half-forward line, and Skinner is in the back pocket. Barton is pushed in the back. Must receive a free kick. He's on the half-forward line, some 55 yards out from goal.
He could kick it from here, but it would be a really good kick. It would be one out of the box. Going to be short. Ganane nearly a mark. Barrett, a snapshot at the goals. It goes right across into the far pocket. Crow's on his own if he can make up a pace to get there. He's beaten one, gives a hand pass to somebody in a better position. That's Northey. Northey shouldn't miss. Left foot kick, and Northey brings the stands down.
Norby hasn't been in the game very much today. In fact, he's had 7 kicks, but he's got a couple of really good goals, and these are what count in this game today.
That was with the ball in play. The other one was a long, deliberate kick after a free kick a long way out.
I commented just earlier in this quarter that Northey had been held by O'Brien, but he's such a scarlet pimpernel you can't afford to leave him alone. That with the Richmond bench. They're still worried because they trail by 7 points. Burke sends him into a tackle. No, he doesn't. It's just gone high in the air. I don't think there'll be a mark to anybody. Now here's Barrett. He's got the pace to get away from these players. He's being chased there by Barry Tasco. He's bounced the ball. Billy Barrett, a dynamic player, gets it up towards the full forward position. Teddy Ganane.
Terrific play by Barrett from the centre. He's starting to play now with the same kind of purpose as he showed throughout the first quarter, in which he was the dominant player in the entire game. He was tremendous in the first quarter, and then with only 1 kick in the second and 1 kick in the third, he started to come alight again. And a beautiful mark to cap off Barrett's good play by Paddy Ganane.
This is his 9th mark. 11 kicks, 3 goals.
Inspirational play by Barrett there. Match-winning football, the sort of football that lifts a whole team, and boy, do Richmond need it now. They're really fighting back, and it is going to be a really interesting result.
We're 9 minutes into this last quarter at the MCG, and the difference is 1 solitary point in favour of North Melbourne.
Teasdale, a double-handed knockback all towards the man in white. Richmond coming forward again. They've got their tails up now. A fickle bounce there is costly to them. It finds Laurie Dwyer. His disposal is usually good. It was misdirected, but they still might get out of it. No. Strang picks up the ball. His kick is onto the half-forward line. The Tigers bounce back into calculation again. It's this way and that way. What a vacillating game. It's gone to North Melbourne there onto the centre wing. It's Richmond's command now. Richmond in the move through Dick Clay. He passes right onto the line to Billy Barrett, who a moment ago was right on the other wing, and Barrett on the half-forward flank from the Richmond goal has taken a beautiful mark.
He's on the half-forward flank, and this magnificent drop kick. Artis gets it up towards Paddy Ganane, but this time in front and marking well is Peter Stewart.
7 points Richmond lead.
The knockdown has been taken by Allison. Allison kicks it up towards the half-back line, but I think it will beat Dick Clay across the line. It does before Evans can get to it. It's 11-19, 85 Richmond. North Melbourne 12-6, 72. A lead of 7 points, and we see a player on the ground.
Billy Barrett.
Barrett is down once more, and it's on the half-back flank. The umpire says play on. Roger Dean turned out of trouble. He's put his head into trouble. Play on. Barrett has it. Barrett's bundled out of the road. There's a chance for golden opportunity for Richmond. Bowden took his time. It's down towards the forward pocket where Bartlett has eluded Allison. Turns, but his kick is a shoddy old kick, and it's across the line.
Barrett's got cramp. That'll either straighten it out or accentuate it.
He's had it a couple of times since half-time. He had 10 kicks in the first quarter and only 2 up to the last quarter, but he's fired again in this last quarter as we see Patterson take it out of the air. A left foot snap goes up towards the forward line. Paddy Ganane tries for it. It's a valuable point because Richmond now lead by 8 points.
Coach Tom Hafey of the Richmond team, concerned about Bill Barrett, sends his emissary in Alan Richardson right out to the scene to check on the fitness of the champion. North Melbourne getting ready to kick off.
Goodingham it is. It's a shocking kick. What's he doing kicking off? I wouldn't know, but fortunately it has found Taylor, who was on the half-back flank. Teasdale's calling for it in the middle of the ground. He drives it towards Teasdale. McCarthy is also there, and McCarthy knocks the ball away straight in the hands of Bartlett. Bartlett kicks it back towards the half-forward line. It bounces over the head of 4 players, 5 players, and look at John Northey playing it like a basketball. He's caught with it, gets away, handballs it out towards Patterson, who brushes his way past 3 opponents. The ball is kicked off the ground by Cara Nicholas, but look at Bergen coming through, gets it up towards the forward line, and Orchard! Richie Benoit could not have done better. A magnificent slip catch by Orchard, 15 yards in front of the goals, and this should seal the game.
Orchard was the first reserve of a complement of 4 for the 2 sides to come onto the field, and he came on in place of Royce Hart, who was off within 5 minutes of the start of the second quarter.
There's the kick by Orchard. 2 goals to Orchard.
Orchard has certainly not let Hart down because that was the most courageous mark of the day. He was running backwards straight into between 2 North Melbourne defenders. He put one hand out and he took a beautiful mark. He certainly deserved everything he got there.
Time on now being played in the Richmond-North Melbourne game at the MCG, headquarters of the big game in the Victorian Football League. And the crowd's starting to leave. "14 points Richmond's favour. They were 14 points down at lemon time, and they didn't look as though they'd be able to extricate themselves from the mire.
I agree with you. I didn't think they could come out of this. They were 14 points down. Now they lead by 14 points as Pascoe drives it down towards the forward line. The ball bounces away from McGrath, goes to Evans. Evans shoots for the goal, and it's a goal to North Melbourne. So it's not over yet. It's back to 8 points the difference as we begin the time-on period in this last quarter.
Goal scorers for both sides and best players coming up in a moment. For Richmond, 4 goals to Ganane, 2 to Hart and Northey and Orchard, and 1 to Barrett. For North Melbourne, 5 to Farrant, 2 to Teasdale and Evans, and 1 to Goodingham, Pascoe and Ibrahim.
We begin the time-on period as umpire Blue starts again, but he's ordering the trainers away from the centre of the ground. As he bounces it, it's all Richmond. The ball goes to Bartlett, but he's grabbed. The umpire says play on. A chance for Dick Clay, good player, gets wide to the centre wing. Darryl O'Brien and Northey go for it. The ball has beaten them both, but Bergen is there. He's played well since shifted to the half-back flank. Gets it up towards the forward pocket. And the best players so far for Richmond are Ganane, Clay doing very well, Shinners, Barrett in the first quarter and last quarter, and also Patterson.
Richmond leading by 8 points. A do-or-die struggle. 2 minutes of time on gone at the MCG. Richmond versus North Melbourne. The Tigers lead by 8. They're second on the league ladder. Here's Northey adding to the score, perhaps. A left foot kick for a long way out. Northey's third goal.
27 minutes into this last quarter, and Richmond have gone back to lead by 14 points.
I would say that has sealed the fate for North Melbourne, because this fellow Northey, he's a Scarlet Pimpernel, and you can't leave him unattended for 1 minute.
The best players for North Melbourne are Teasdale, Farrant, Laurie Dwyer particularly, and Barry Pascoe.
The most entertaining game, and a bruise-filled encounter. North Melbourne's way. Curry, a nice blind turn and then turn right back into trouble. The ball towards North Melbourne's half-forward line. Oh, he dropped it. Completely dropped it. North Melbourne's red and back. He's only just come onto the field. 19th man.
The goal kickers for Richmond, who have kicked 13, are 4 to Ganane, 3 to Northey, 2 to Hart and Orchard, and 1 each to Brown and Barrett. For North Melbourne, who have kicked 13 goals, 5 to Farrant, 2 each to Evans and Teasdale, 1 each to Ibrahim, Goodingham, Pascoe, that's Bob, and Wood.
Bob Pascoe missed the knockdown then. It was taken by Richmond, and good play between Bowden and Roger Dean will clear the ball for the Richmond team. They're well and truly into attack now from that centre wing position. The ball to the half-forward line, and it's marked by Barry Pascoe. Pascoe, one of North Melbourne's best players. Barry Pascoe from the half-back flank, kicks to the centre wing. Anybody to mark here? Farrant, who's on the ball now, has taken a good mark, coming in third in line. Farrant on the centre wing for the North Melbourne team. Running out of time here. We've had 4 minutes of time on. Finds on the half-forward line Bernie McCarthy, who's been good in fits and starts.
29 minutes into this last quarter, and Richmond lead 98 to 84, 14 points. Farrant has kicked 5 goals and Ganane 4. And there we see Bernie McCarthy being very quiet today. He kicks it up towards the full forward position. North Melbourne trying to mark the ball. Taylor it was. The ball is brushed away from him now. And here's Richmond. Oh, grabbed pretty high. The umpire says play on. Now he's seen it. A free kick to Bowden at half-back flank. So Richmond look like consolidating their double chance, because they will win this game at the 30-minute mark. They lead by 14 points. Patterson handballs it across towards Fred Swift. Fred Swift drives up towards the half-forward line. A chance for Bartlett. He will knock it out towards Roger Dean. Changed his mind. Kicked it himself. It's down towards Paddy Ganane, but he's brushed out of position. The umpire says play on. Paddy's a bit of an actor, you know. And it's out towards the forward pocket. Kick off the ground by Northey. This fellow's a constructive footballer, isn't he? Turns round, kicks it back towards the forward pocket, setting himself as Orchard. The ball is knocked away from Orchard. Now it's out towards Barry Pascoe. Gets flattened by Paddy Ganane and rushed through for a point. 30 minutes to play gone in this last quarter. Richmond are 13-22 to North Melbourne 13-6.
Bill Barrett helps Barry Pascoe up onto his feet after he got a terrific sandwich between Barrett and Paddy Ganane. That's to Darryl O'Brien, number 12 for the North Melbourne team. Bill Brown all over him. No free kick. North Melbourne in possession of the ball. A hand pass when grabbed. Kick off the ground. It's coming Richmond's way again. They're attacking the Richmond goal. Benton, who kept Barrett out of the game in the second and third quarters after Barrett dominated the game in the first quarter. Sees the ball goes to Teasdale. Teasdale on the half-forward line, held up by Strang of the Richmond team. Time is all gone. Richmond must win this game. They're 99 points to 84. But what a terrific encounter it's been. Richmond still have the ball into attack. They've had it in attack for most of this final quarter. They've done better in the final term than North Melbourne, who seem to expend their effort with great play in the second and third term.
Bartlett's been a good player for Richmond as Pascoe gives it across towards Ellison, who fell over. He turns, steadies himself. He gives it to Darryl O'Brien. He handballs it across to Evans. Evans kicks it high in the air. Not very constructive football. A Richmond mark. Dick Clay. The Shepparton boy has proved a great find for Richmond. He came as a full forward, but Richmond soon found him a position on the wing, and he's one of the best wingers in Victoria. Carried the white V for Victoria just a few weeks ago. Here he is, 55 yards out, and there's his kick. It's a magnificent kick by Dick Clay. It's a
One of the nicest kicks of the game, and Richmond deserve to win it. They've had 35 shots to 19 scoring shots of North Melbourne, so they really deserve to win this game. It's been a great last quarter, and the Tigers have given everything to come from behind.
Brendan Edwards on GTV9 at the MCG. Umpire Don Blue starts it off with only about a minute left.
The game's over. Put down your glasses, as they say in the racing parlance. Richmond, after being out of the game at three-quarter time, have come right back in to win handsomely and appreciably boost their premiership prospects. The ball is on the half-forward line here. It's in North Melbourne's possession. Wood, he played well in the first quarter. Over to Karen Nicholas. North Melbourne players are more tired than the Richmond men, I think. The going gets harder when you're behind, and the short pass here has found Rettenbach, who has only been on the field 5 minutes. Rettenbach, 19th man for the North Melbourne team, is on the half-forward flank. His kick is a grubber. It's going towards Ibrahim. Ibrahim kept it going forward, caught it like a man in the flying trapeze. A left-foot kick by him is close to being a goal, but it's a point, and there's the end of the game. A great win to Richmond in a great game.